Well, welcome to Your In Depth. Evan, what are we covering today?
We are covering The Hobbit.
Which one?
Oh, we are going over the first of the trilogy for The Hobbit, which is An Unexpected Journey. And we are doing the extended editions as well because the theatrical versions are garbage.
Well, we may have to reschedule because I think I'm on a different page. I thought we were watching. I thought we were watching The Sorcerer's Stone.
This is awkward. Let me go pull up Hulu real quick. Find Harry Potter.
No, but you are very correct. We're going to be finally diving into The Hobbit, which actually, I think that in our most recent episode, which was Mandalorian Chapter 5, I think we may have said we're diving into Lord of the Rings. So I think we're just saying that the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit we're kind of lumping together, but they are different, you know. But
Yeah.
This will be our entire. It will start with The Hobbit and then go into Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all in the same world and
Right.
several of the same characters. So, I mean, I just kind of clumped together anyway.
Yeah. But either way, so we're going to start off with An Unexpected Journey. But we are only going to cover these an hour at a time. Now, our episodes aren't going to be an hour, but we're going to break them up by about an hour because, as Evan said, we are doing the extended editions, which run about 4 hours, which, no. So we're going to, break them up by about an hour. And so today's will take us, well, I'm not going to say where it's going to take us, but about 50 so minutes in, I thought was a good point to stop. I have about 3 pages of notes, so I think we should dive right in.
Oh, is that all? Only 3 pages?
Yeah. How many do you have?
I got the movie right here.
All right. Well,
I mean,
anyway,
I'm sitting on 15 pages of notes for the first 10 minutes. My bad. I'm sorry.
Bro, what? Actually, yeah, I've actually got the entire script right here.
Yeah.
So let me just go ahead and read that for you.
It starts off with Bilbo saying, "My dear Frodo."
No, not yet. I don't know what one you're on, but here's what I've got. All right, let's dive right in, okay? According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small.
Oh. So what I'm hearing is bees are magical.
Yes. Bees are magical. Either way, we're being stupid, but we kind of got to fill in the gap that is usually Star Wars news, because we're not doing that here.
I will say there actually is Lord of the Rings news.
Oh, is there?
There
okay,
is,
well,
yes.
this is news to me.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Anyone that is a big Lord of the Rings fan and a big Hobbit fan, I would assume has at least heard about. But they are actually making a new Lord of the Rings game. It's supposed to be coming out soon. And it is called, if I'm not mistaken, Gollum is the title of it.
Oh,
and
so a new video game, just
and you don't actually meet Gollum until it's in this movie actually is when you meet the character.
Yeah, but not this episode of our podcast, but in the movie
we'll cover that point. And Gollum is a big character in the Lord of the Rings movies themselves. They're making a new game there about that, and I'm really curious to see how that game goes because I have absolutely no idea what the plans for that is.
Yeah.
And also they are working on a Lord of the Rings TV show, Amazon's, which has been in the works
dope.
for a long time now. And anybody that's watched Game of Thrones knows that it had a huge budget for that whole TV show. And Amazon has made that budget look like a penny compared to what they're spending on this. So it should be really
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So.
All right.
That's really about the only news or anything like that. For the Rings and the Hobbit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Yeah, so I say then we just dive right in. I think we should handle this the same way as we handle the Star Wars ones, which is essentially me going through my notes and you telling me to backtrack about a minute. And then we elaborate more than I anticipated, and we just keep going.
Sounds good to me.
All righty. So my very first note says, so the pale orc, I'm just kidding, that's way down the line. Bilbo's writing, right?
Yep.
He's starting his story, his stuff, and he's talking about journeys. And I know you've got the movie right alongside, and I fully anticipate you stopping me because I know that there's a bit going on there of him just writing and Frodo's coming in and moving around. Maybe not quite yet, but soon enough. But he starts talking and showing a little bit of the background between elves and dwarves.
Yeah.
It looks like dwarves had great wealth. You know, they have. I mean, look at the freaking mining operation they got going on. You know, just deep into the mountain. They're digging for gems. They're getting gold. They're building like holy cow.
Yep.
And finally, one of them picks into the wall and finds what they call the heart of the mountain, or the king's jewel. It's shiny.
Yeah. So basically, since you mentioned the elves and the dwarves, yeah, basically the dwarves in this universe, right, are very big into mining and delving down into the earth for treasures and all that kind of stuff. The elves are more so seeking after knowledge, right? They're more looking out at the world and learning new things and building, like, really, honestly, beautiful cities and stuff like that, expanding their knowledge. Dwarves are more in it for the riches, the money. And we do get to see a glimpse of man a little bit in this first opening scene, right? Because Bilbo mentions the city of men, which is Esgaroth is the name of it. That's like the name of their land. The city itself is Dale. And their man is just kind of there, right? They're surviving. They're alive. Like, okay. Yeah, so like basically man is just there surviving alive. Dwarves are going for the riches. Elves are seeking knowledge. And that's that's like the foundation of what you would really want to know about the different races before we go further.
Okay. I do appreciate that because to a listener, I have actually not seen Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit up until this point. I a while back, and my wife continued to say that I should watch it. She really likes these movies, grew up watching them and loves them. And Evan here as well, and pretty well everybody that I talk to hates me because I have not seen it. But I finally, I'm like, once Evan, once you and I started talking about doing this, I wanted to watch them, but we talked about maybe covering them on here. So I'm like, I want to wait because I think that watching it the first time, I may have questions that would be beneficial to bring up as we're covering them. So I waited to bring them up, or then I can bring them up. I waited to watch them. So I'm kind of, I don't know what's going on fully.
Yeah.
But I appreciate, I guess, all of that to say, I appreciate you breaking down what each race's kind of goal is, their mindset, their kind of, I guess, what their culture drives in this,
Yeah, and like I said, for like elves and dwarves, it's very like pretty specific on what they're seeking.
Yeah.
And man is just kind of right there in the middle. Like they're kind of, we'd like some wealth, we'd like some more knowledge, but our primary thing is having secure life, staying alive, that type of thing. And since hobbits, we got introduced to them right off the get go with Bilbo. Hobbits are just there. Like hobbits don't make a mark on the world in this world, right? So like elves and dwarves and men, they go out and they have like giant battles. They battle for land, for title, whatever you want to, the normal thing that was battled with in like medieval times.
Yeah.
But hobbits are like, hey, we're here, we're alive, we like to grow plants and smoke and drink,
we.
and we're just here,
Yeah.
we're having a good time. And as I was saying, hobbits don't go out and do extraordinary things. They don't go on adventures. They don't leave their little. I would say it's really just their giant city.
Yeah.
Right, is essentially what it is, broken up into like different districts and whatnot. And the only thing that we actually hear about hobbits before this point of actually going out or fighting or anything like that is hobbits fighting goblins a long time ago, and that was just like goblins attacked them in their village and like in their homes, and so they fought back. That's really about it in terms of the hobbits, and then you still have other races and creatures like orcs and goblins. And that different stuff as well, but those are typically like, hey, we're gonna go kill stuff because we feel like it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
though, so
sorry.
So they're mining. They find this big shiny thing, the King's Jewel, which they kind of designate as the piece that, well, I mean, belongs to the king. It sits above his throne.
Yeah.
And is the most valuable jewel, basically.
And what you'll hear them reference later on as well is they'll call it the Arkenstone.
Okay.
More common name for it, and also they kind of say that it's the pinnacle or it's the top. It's the icing on the cake for all of this wealth that the dwarves have acquired.
Okay. Yeah.
So they find the heart of the, as you said, the heart of the mountain.
Right. And right after this, the elves kind of come in. I don't know what it. Oh, it was like the dwarves were like paying them or something.
So the elves
or
are
rewarding them.
The elves are actually paying homage to the dwarves in this scene.
Homage?
Homage.
I think it's homage. Homage.
So basically, the elves are like, okay, you're a great nation. We want to make peace with you. We don't want to mess with you. We're gonna give you some goods.
Oh, okay.
And also, the dwarves had some stones that were precious to the elves. And then, honestly, the king of the dwarves is a greedy little. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm keeping them. They're mine. And that's really what starts to makes the rift between the elves and the dwarves.
Yeah. So their alliance is broken, or if it ever even formed, they do not have an alliance.
Correct. It's like, okay, yeah, we were friends. We're not fighting each other. Okay, we're cool. Oh, I really want these precious gems that you have. They're really culturally important to my people, blah, blah, blah. And the dwarves are like, screw you, no, they're mine. And that just
pretty much.
That basically ended their alliance, or their, I wouldn't say peace, because they're not really fighting. But it ends their alliance, right? And that really starts, as I said, tearing them apart. Like, starts making them look at each other with like, oh, we don't like each other type of mindset.
Right, yeah. And right in the nick of time, too, because, without an ally, they got attacked by a dragon. The Dwarven City did.
And one thing they do mention as well is, and I feel like Bilbo really makes a point to this, is that having that much gold and that much wealth for the king, it basically makes him go mad.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he's worried about losing his wealth, his power, his treasure. And they'll actually refer to it as dragon sickness later on in the show.
As what?
Dragon sickness.
And
we'll cover that later on once we get to that point, but that's just a brief, something to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah, okay. So it attacks the city, and as things are being narrated, it says that the dragon's desire for gold is deep. It likes it. It's sparkly.
Yeah, and so one of the really unfortunate things that happens in this scene that you're talking about, right, is the city of men gets attacked first, which really sucks for them because the city of man doesn't have wealth. They don't have all this gold and whatnot in their city, but they're right on the doorstep of the dwarves.
Yeah.
So the dragon hits the men first, take out their defenses and whatnot, and then full tilt onto the dwarves to claim what it wants.
Yeah. And but the Dwarven King, like whatever his name was, actually I wrote it someplace later on.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fill me in for right now, but
yeah. So just real quick,
yeah.
the line of succession with the dwarves right here. Just specifically this, because I'm not going to try and go into that whole thing. So
Okay.
right now you have King Thrain,
Thrain, yeah.
right? His son is Thror, and his
Wait.
son, yeah. So it goes Thrain, who is the king. His son Thror is the prince, and then Thror's son is Thorin, who is also just a prince right now.
Okay.
So that's the immediate line of succession for this kingdom of the dwarves.
Okay.
And you'll hear them mention those names periodically through the movies. So just kind of remember, like, oh, that was the line of succession for the kingdom, this kingdom.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so he grabs the heart of the mountain, though, the king's jewel. He grabs it because everything's being attacked. He's got to, save what's meaningful to him, and as he's gotten that lust for the gold,
Yeah.
I
One
don't know
thing
if that's
that
the right word, but
intrigues me, or I found really kind of funny,
mm-hmm.
is it if you were to watch this movie when it was in theaters, when the dragon first breaks through the giant gateway for the dwarves,
yeah,
you actually see, and you'll kind of understand what I mean, I guess, in the next movie, but you see 4 legs on the ground for the dragon, right?
okay,
Is what you see. But now, when you go and watch the second and third movie, when you actually see it in its full thing, right? Like its full magnitude, it's got the 2 legs and then its wings. As its wings are like its wings and its arms together.
Hmm.
And so basically, when they were making the movie, they had not decided on a final rendition of the dragon.
Oh,
And so they had to go back and oh shoot, we got to take this out for the actual discs and stuff like that when they buy them.
oh, that's funny.
Because they hadn't decided on what the dragon was actually going to look like until 3 weeks before the second movie came out.
That's hilarious.
Is when they finally are like, this is our final product.
Yeah. Huh. Well, anyways, though, so moving along, he grabs that. He wants to protect it as he flees. Mm-hmm. However, he trips and drops it down into the pit of gold that the dragon is in. How conveniently. And a note's being made here in the narration. It says that the dragon will guard his plunder as long as he lives.
Yeah. So, in some mythologies and whatnot, dragons have their huge pile of gold that they lay on and they sleep on, that kind of stuff, right? It's the same thing here. And as you had mentioned, it mentions in the film, a dragon's lust for gold is very powerful, and so it will protect it until it dies. Until it dies from old age or someone actually comes in and somehow kills it, it's going to protect what is its.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one thing to mention on the King's Jewel, the Arkenstone, and it's actually mentioned shortly further into the film, but I do feel like it's very important to bring up here because it's just a point where it's lost. Basically, whoever has that King's Jewel is king of all of the dwarves, not just this kingdom.
Oh.
So there's several different kingdoms of dwarves throughout the world. Whoever has that stone is the king of all of them. And that is one of the reasons it's very important in terms of what it is, and also why it's important to the king who just lost it, to Thror, or whatever his name is, I'm drawing a blank now.
Yeah. Okay.
Thror, yeah. Thror. That's one of the reasons it's so important to Thror. Because that basically is I have this, it verifies that I am your ruler of all of y'all, even though you're not from my mountain. I'm in charge of all you.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and like I said, it does get mentioned later on, but I feel like it's very important at this point in the movie to mention that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, but moving along, they flee the city, And as they're leaving, they look up and see the elves up there.
Yep.
And their leader, I think his name's Ronan.
No.
So Ronan sees the dwarves in need,
Hold on
but
a
won't
second.
risk their lives.
Hold on a second. Back it up.
No,
That
he
is
wants
not
to.
his
He wants
name.
to. No, shut up. He wants to go fight the Guardians of the Galaxy, or maybe talk to Marmaduke or something. But he's there,
His name is Thorane for people that are actually paying attention.
and people who pay attention to the
not
actor,
Thranduil.
he is also Ronan.
His name is Thranduil in the movies.
He is the same actor that played Ronan.
I am aware of this.
He also played Phil in Marmaduke.
So, at this point where you're talking, where we see the elves and they turn and leave, right, as the dwarves are fleeing their mountain. And it doesn't do a very good job in portraying it in the movie, but there's actually a pretty significant time gap between that scene where the elves are like paying homage to the king, to the dwarven king and leaving, and this point. I know what you're thinking. Shut up.
Homage.
But there's a significant amount of time, like years, a significant amount of time that's happening. So tensions are already bad between the two, and this right here is the final straw. That's dwarves hate elves, elves hate dwarves.
Yeah, this was what really pushed him over the edge.
Yeah, so like over all these years, they're kind of like teetering on the edge, back and forth, back and forth. This happens, the elves abandon them, don't help them at all, and they just plummet.
Yep. But so yeah, they didn't receive help. Their home is destroyed and occupied by a they did say a fire drake from the north.
Yeah.
Smog or Smaug, however they pronounce it, whatever. Smog. Yeah, I figure. Well,
sorry,
I thought
like they
that's
say
how they.
smog in the movie.
Well, I
That's what
thought they said it like that in the movie, because I remember I'm like, it's smog. But whatever. Either way, so now the dwarves just roam the land with no home, Israel style, and just kind of go,
Real OGs.
But anyway, and then it cuts to the Shire.
Yeah, and one thing it does mention before we go into the Shire. It does mention that the dwarvish prince, Thorin. He takes work in the cities of men, doing like work at the forges and whatnot. And although it seems kind of obvious to point out, but it says he never forgot, he never forgave, which is very it seems so obvious that he wouldn't, but it's a very important thing to point out because of future scenes in the movies and in the book and whatnot. It's an important thing to remember. Like, he does not in any means whatsoever forgive the elves for what they did.
Yeah.
He doesn't forget what happened to his home. He doesn't forget that the elves abandoned them when they really needed help. Like, this was their do or die moment and they needed help. Like, it sticks with him throughout the years that the movie really doesn't do a good job of covering between this flashback introduction and the actual movie itself.
Yeah, I see. Moving along to the Shire, if you're ready.
Yep.
We see... Okay, so in this, is this a young Frodo or Bilbo?
Playing with Gandalf?
Yes.
That is a young Frodo.
The kid. Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
But I was kind of questioning it then after they... Like, because later on, he's like, don't you remember me or whatever? And I'm like, was it him? Okay, no. But no. Okay.
Well, actually, no. That might be Bilbo, honestly. I don't think it is, because I think it goes right to, like, present time right here.
Yeah.
I'm
well, that's
pretty
what
sure.
I thought it did. Like, more present than...
No, it is Bilbo, sorry.
Oh, it is? Okay,
yeah,
dope.
so it's a very short thing, and just because I have it pulled up right here with the subtitles on, it does show Bilbo's mother coming over. Bilbo, come here, stop that.
Okay,
So
it is.
It is little Bilbo.
Okay. But then it kind of cuts ahead a little bit, and actually just showing back. It is Bilbo's preparing for a party or kind of like a gathering, and he kind of talks about his plans to leave
Yeah.
This is like right before Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah. So
This is like
the correlation of this
taking place there.
right here in this specific spot where it's at
Mm-hmm.
is shortly before the Lord of the Rings happens. Or honestly, this is like the very beginning of Lord of the Rings in terms of time placement. This is the very beginning of Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings starts, it does its whole intro thing like The Hobbit does. And then it's right here, Bilbo's writing his book, and goes right into Lord of the Rings. And so really, if you're looking at this, it's more or less, these three movies are like flashbacks, or like someone reading Bilbo's book, is basically what these movies are.
Yeah. Okay.
And one thing I did want to mention earlier, but I waited.
Oh, yeah.
With Bilbo's house, and we saw him in there just now, writing in his book some more.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff you see in the background of his house, like the swords on the wall, and even earlier when we saw like the helmet and like his little sword that he uses, that's stuff that you'll see him pick up along his journey along these three movies. And so it's like these are his mementos of his journeys that he went.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so he sits outside, and he's smoking his pipe. And then it cuts to much earlier, which ended up saying 60 years earlier, of him doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
And then a wizard approaches, and so then kind of a dialogue kind of starts. It was like, good morning or whatever. And go ahead.
Sorry, just for those, because I'm sure there's some people out there that are going to nitpick. In the movie, it's 60-year gap. In the book, it's like 120.
Really?
The book is a much bigger, maybe not 120, but it's a much bigger gap in. I think I'm thinking of this one, honestly now.
Oh.
So I think it's still a 60-year gap here. The gap from...
But later on, it might be.
So the gap from the dragon taking the mountain and the events of the Hobbit is much longer than the way they say it in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's still 60-year gap here between the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. 60-year gap.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The time span between the dragon taking the mountain and the events of the Hobbit in the movie, I think, is another 60 years. I think.
Okay.
But in the book, it's a lot longer. It's like 100 some odd years in the book. So for those that read the book and like, this isn't right, there are differences, okay? Get over it.
Okay.
Anyways, yes, we have
So
Bilbo smoking his pipe
right, and then
as an old man. Flash goes back to him as a young man smoking his pipe.
Yes, and so Wizard, comes up to him, and young Lester Nygaard, or Watson, or whatever, talks to Magneto, who riddles
my
Mr.
God, I'm
Ross.
gonna kill you.
No, shut up. Listen. So Mr. Ross,
kill you.
Magneto's talking to Mr. Ross. Okay, Mr. Ross is on vacation and on break from the Black Panther stuff, and what he means by, and they talk about what he means by good morning. Okay.
I knew this was coming. It was coming.
I don't. Why would it be coming? Anyway. Okay, so they go through that. He's like, do you wish to wish me a good morning, or are you stating that the morning is good, or whatever? It's just kind of funny conversation. But that moves along, and old Michael Fassbender talks about a journey, which is quite unexpected.
I hate you so much.
Anyway, so Dumbledore introduces himself.
Oh my God! Stop.
Indicating that Bilbo knows of him.
Oh my word! You have this in your notes, don't you? Like these specific names. That's
I do.
Worst. You are the worst. And you knew I would react like this. I know you did.
I did. But anyway, so Mr. Dent declares that there's no adventures occurring. So he kind of shoos him away, And then old Sherlock Holmes puts this mark on Bilbo's door and then leaves.
I hate you so much right now.
Did you think I was done?
I know you're not done. I'm sure your notes are like this for the entire thing, I'm sure.
Actually, honestly, that was the last one of a bunch of references.
Oh, word.
Anyway, though, okay, so yes, I just about actually called him a Dumbledore, and I'm not even trying to joke.
No, so Gandalf introduces himself. It cracks me up though. He's like, I am Gandalf, and Gandalf means me.
Yeah.
And he almost takes offense when Bilbo only remembers him for his fireworks, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
For those that don't know as well, Gandalf is like thousands of years old.
Yeah.
And just a quick into the backstory of the whole universe. So it's going to be like quick 5 minutes. Basically, Gandalf, when the entire universe was created, Gandalf was basically an angel if we're using the Bible as a reference. Gandalf was basically an angel. And he, as well as a bunch of other basically angels, right, came down to Earth late into the universe, late into the Earth's forming and whatnot. And so this takes place in the Third Age. You have the First Age, which had a lot of happening there. You have the Second Age, which is, you see a little bit of it in the Lord of the Rings movies as like a flashback. And that the Second Age is a whole thing for those that know with Sauron and the One Ring and all that kind of stuff. This happens in the Second Age. This is the Third Age where they're like, okay, we're at peace. We beat the big bad guy. We're all just here having a great time, surviving.
You talking about Dormammu?
What?
I said, are you talking about Dormammu?
No, I'm not. So basically, like, Gandalf and all of his basically angels came down to Middle Earth, came down to Earth late into the Third Age, but it's still like a couple thousand years before these events. And they've been helping here and there as much as they can ever since. So the fact that they only know Gandalf for his fireworks is like, well, what the heck? I've done all this other stuff, and this is all you know? This is bull crap.
I see.
Yeah, that's a very brief and short coverage of the history of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. And
Gotcha. So, but yeah, he puts his mark on his door and leaves. Bilbo is on high alert as he's in this market area. He's like looking around and he's just like, it's like, he even asks somebody, he's like, have you seen what did he say? Did he say wizard or sorcerer? What's the proper term there?
Let me.
Yeah, sure.
The proper term in terms of us talking would be wizard.
Okay.
That, that's what.
Yeah. That sounded right. I just wanted to be sure. So Anyway, he's like, have you seen a wizard around here with a big tall hat and whatever? And he's like describing him. And then he sees the tall gray hat coming around a corner. And so he like turns around and he hides behind the guy. And it turns out it's just like pillows or something. But
yeah, and this part of the movie is the extended cut part of it, part of the extended cut.
Oh, okay.
So like this whole thing where he's like on high alert is not in the theatric movie.
Yeah.
And so like when I first watched the movie, I watched the theatric versions and I saw this, like, wait a second, this is new stuff.
Yeah. Dude, okay, fully just retracting back to what we've talked about in previous everything, because we have only been Star Wars to this point. I really want an extended edition for Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, God.
Dude, I would be so happy with that.
I've seen some of the scenes they cut out of that, and I'm glad there's not an extended edition for that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're bad.
Oh,
They're really bad.
I see. How do you see those scenes?
They're on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, okay.
But, like, if you look at the extended cuts, the extended scenes in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, like, those are, like, top-of-the-line, tier 1, like, scenes that honestly need to be in there for better understanding. The extended, the cut scenes from, like, Revenge of the Sith are, like, tier F, terrible, like, honestly, it's like basically the low points of their acting for that movie.
Oh.
It's like they were just kind of
Okay.
like goofing around and saying whatever came to mind.
Well,
Type scenes
okay.
they cut out is what those
I retract
were
that then.
bad.
I retract that then, but what I would like to see is a 6-hour cut of Endgame. Anyway.
So
Yeah, they were in the market.
So it jumps over to, they got the market where he's on high alert, and then it jumps to Bilbo in his house. And, you know, he's getting his dinner finished up, getting ready to eat.
Yep.
And then here's a loud knock on his door.
Yep.
And we get introduced to the first dwarf of the company.
Yep.
His name is Dwalin. And this is supposed to be like your big mofo, like, I'm a badass. You need something hit hard, I'll hit it hard type guy.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, and he comes across that way in my opinion. Right?
Yeah,
When you
I
first
can see
see
it.
him, he just comes across as like a big burly dude that's gonna mess some stuff up.
Yeah.
And it kind of cracks me up though throughout this whole extended scene where we are introduced to all the characters. Bilbo has no idea this is what's supposed to be going on here. You know, like he's just lost. Like, why are all these dwarves showing up at my house? What is going on? Like,
Yeah.
And it just shows Dwalin just sitting there devouring his meal.
Yeah, he's just eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then he hears another knock. And he goes over and I think he's saying some stuff like complaining as he goes.
Yeah.
And he opens the door and there's another dude.
Yeah.
Who introduces himself as Urland Greymane.
I hate you so much. Go kill yourself right now. Oh my word. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this for every schedule.
Why? Why are you being like this? Whatever. Okay. Anyway, I don't know his name. If that's not obvious, I don't know his name.
Oh my god. You're doing this on purpose. Oh man.
Anyway, okay, so people. Oh, Balin.
And
All
so
right.
Balin and Dwalin are brothers.
Okay.
And I can't be upset with you if you don't know their names. Number one, this is like your first time watching it.
Yes, I did.
And-
I don't know their names.
And number two, there's freaking 13 of them. I don't even remember all
Exactly.
their names. And I've seen these movies like 100 times.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, they just keep showing up though,
Yeah.
essentially. And they just keep eating Bilbo's food. They're dude, this scene, I'll be honest, this scene irritates me. Just the thought of people like stealing all of my food and being a bunch of idiots while doing it. Like, it's funny in the movie, but like I relate to things too much and take them as what if it happened to me, and I would kill them all.
Good luck.
Well,
Dwarves are fighters.
yeah, they don't have guns though. Either way, probably still lose.
I do like though when before the rest of them show up and it shows the two dwarves in his what they call a larder, basically his fridge. And you see all this food and everything that he has just like So he's got plenty of food to live off of and whatnot. And then it shows it after all the dwarves are there and everything, and it's just destroyed. Like no food left, nothing.
Yeah, and I love his like little reserve of food, dude. It looks so clean and nice before they get there.
But the two dwarves that show up after Balin and Dwalin are Fili and Keith.
Okay.
Those two of which are brothers. And one thing to note is they're both. So Thorin, the grandson of the king of that dwarven kingdom that we saw, is their uncle.
Oh, okay.
So they're part of his blood.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, yeah, but then they come in and they go off and go start mingling with the others.
Drop all of their weapons on Bilbo. Like, here, do something with this.
Yeah.
But then the doorbell goes off again.
Yeah, and he shows up like to the door, and a literal pile like just falls in.
Yeah.
There's so many people, and then like Hamlet standing behind him, and it's just, dude.
I will try and name off some of the dwarves. I probably won't be able to remember all of them.
Sure.
Memory. But you have Bifur, Bofer, Bomber.
What about Bofa?
Bifur, Bofer, and Bomber. And then you have Loin, Fili, Keely, Balin, Dwalin. I'm missing 3. I can't think of the other 3.
I told you.
No, Jacob, that's not the names.
Dude.
But there's 3 more, and then the final one that shows up after their meal and sing and dance routine is Thorin.
Wait, you say Thorin?
Yes, Thorin.
Oh, I thought that was Ulfric Stormcloak.
Oh my word.
Oh, I'm having too much fun with this, and you're not having it.
It's cracking me up because you're just coming up with all these different.
I forgot.
Oin and Gloin, Dwalin, Balin, Bifur, Bofer, Bomber. Because Gandalf is listing them off. Dori and Nori. And Ori.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And that's before. So I had the movie pulled up so I can see that he's listing all of them.
Oh, I guess.
But yeah, so there's 13 dwarves. 12 of them are there.
I thought there was only 7.
7. I don't know what that reference is. No, never mind. I hate you. Took me a second, but I got it.
So I missed a couple of things in my notes. Like, for once, I'm the one backtracking. No, so they continue to eat all the food. This is before Ulfric shows up, but they're eating all of his food, and after they're done eating, Bilbo gets really angry because they're like playing ultimate frisbee with Bilbo's mother's plates.
Yeah, it's their song and dance.
Yeah, and they're singing like Black Flag crewmate style, and like, dude, it's kind of a fun scene.
I think my favorite in this quick scene in all of this is their burp contest.
Yeah,
because they're all just chugging beer and whatnot, and they all start burping, and then it's the youngest one of all of them has the loudest and longest burp of them all.
Yeah. So yeah, and then finally, Thorin Oakenshield shows up. Oakenshield, what's that part?
So
I thought there was another. The bloodline is titled something else. What is the Oakenshield part?
So the bloodline itself is the line of Durin, who was like the first king of all the dwarves, like some odd years ago. That's the bloodline of the kings, is what you're referring to.
So
Oakenshield
is.
Did you reach the part in the movie where they talk about the battle for Moria? Does that sound familiar?
Oh, I remember now. Yes, I know why he's called that.
Yeah,
Never
the
mind.
Oakenshield is, and we'll get to that point when we get there. But he basically at one point in that battle used an oak branch as a shield because he didn't have anything else.
Yep, I remember that now.
Yeah.
So anyway, though, they're all sitting down at the table, finally, and they start talking about the quest. And I wanted to direct this to you to describe the quest because I did not write it down in my notes.
Yeah, so the quest that they're going on is to reclaim the Lonely Mountain, which the Lonely Mountain is that mountain that we saw at the very beginning the dragon attacked and took. That is the Lonely Mountain.
Hold on, where's Candy Mountain?
It's not here, damn it.
Candy Mountain, Charlie.
They all ate it. They all ate it because they got very hungry and it's no longer around.
Oh man, all right.
But anyways, the quest is to retake the Lonely Mountain, retake their homeland.
Yeah.
And it is labeled the Lonely Mountain because if you look at the map, it's literally like all flat land and some rolling hills. And it's one giant mountain peak, just right there in the middle of it. Hence the Lonely Mountain.
Yeah, okay.
But that is essentially their quest. And in terms to kind of understand how far of a distance that is from where they're at here in Hobbiton or in the Shire, and I was looking at a map. It was like if you started in... Where was it? I think if you started in, I think it was like Arizona, right?
Yeah.
And you traveled all the way over to like West Virginia. That is, I'm pretty sure, about the distance we're talking is they have to travel just to reach the mountain in the first place.
Okay. Also, in this scene, I want to point out, and it's not his character because I like his character, but looks alone, that fat dwarf really irritates me.
Yeah.
Like the way he looks just drives me insane.
So one thing that, and I'll say it now because the movies don't actually say it. Okay. After the ending of the whole movies and the third movie finally ends, that dwarf gets so fat that he cannot walk. He has to have people carry him around. And it only says that in the books. But he gets so fat, he cannot physically walk by himself.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And also irritating. I see, though.
And like I said, the only reason I say it now is because it is not mentioned in the films whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, so they're talking about this quest, and they're like, okay, but how do we get into the mountain? And a key is revealed. It's like, yeah, this is how.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So one thing that dwarves were very famously known for is number one, their love for gold and jewelry and whatnot, all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah.
But number two is a lot of their kingdoms have hidden doors. And so unless, and like they say in this scene, unless it's the right time and the right time of the year, you're not going to see the door. It's just, you won't even break, like the doors are magically made that you can't even break through them with like a battery. And so they're hidden doors on different parts of their kingdoms if they had to escape or maybe sneak in for whatever reason. And we'll see one of those doors once we hit the Lord of the Rings movie as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So also,
that's one of those things. It's like, well, unless you know where it's at and you know how to get into it and you're there at the exact right time at the exact right time of year, you're not getting it.
Right. And quick disclaimer also. So originally we were talking about whether or not we would start with Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit in our entirety of Lord of the Rings coverage. And I'll just call them as a whole that. But I had watched the Fellowship of the Ring and then decided that we should start on The Hobbit. So I've seen that one, but I have not seen the rest. So like just right in here, it's like earlier I said, you know, that it's like, oh yeah, I have not seen these movies yet until we started this. And then now I'm making reference to Lord of the Rings. I'm not contradicting myself. I've seen that one and I've seen The Hobbit, but I have not seen the entirety of either trilogy.
Yeah, just wait until we see Count.
Oh, now you get to, you know what? Can it, buddy? You know what? You cannot do that. You cannot do that to me.
That's the only one I will do just because I enjoy Lord of the Rings and Star Wars very much.
Okay, that's fair. I will, I won't be as upset there.
But anyways, they're all sitting around the table, and like you said, the key gets revealed. And one of the parts that makes me laugh when I watch this is when they're talking about killing the dragon, and one of them says something along the lines of like, "Well, we have a wizard on our side. I'm sure Gandalf has killed hundreds of dragons," and Gandalf is just lost for words. He's like, "Well, I'm like, how many dragons have you killed? Well, how many?" And they all start arguing. And literally, if you watch the movie, you literally see smoke coming out of his ears because he just took a puff from his pipe.
Yeah.
He's got literally has smoke coming out of his ear. But then it goes serious again, and this is one of the things that is important because it puts urgency into their mission or their quest. Thorin talks about how if those 13 have been able to read the signs and read what they called the portents, I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming some sort of riddle or whatever. But basically, since they have been able to figure out that this is really the time to try and retake the mountain, other people will have been able to figure that out as well. And at this point, it's basically first come, first serve. Whoever can get to the mountain and kill the dragon gets to claim all of that gold. And so this is one of the things where it's like, we have to get this done now, otherwise someone else is going to take our home.
Yeah.
And for all intents and purposes for these guys, they believe that the dragon is dead at this point. No one has seen the dragon in 60 years. You know, no one's heard any stories of it going off and destroying a village or anything like that. There has been no sightings or stories or anything about this dragon in the last 60 years. So for all they know, it's dead. And another thing as well, is Gandalf mentions that Thrain gave him the key, which is Thorin's father. Thrain has been missing at this point for like 10 or 15 years, roughly, about that. And so one of the things that Thorin is wanting to do is obviously, find his father. But like no one's heard of Thrain or seen him or anything like that for like 15 years. And so the fact that Gandalf got this key from Thrain is a pretty big deal.
Oh, interesting. I do remember that as far as, him not being around, like he pretty well, it's like went mad with grief.
Yeah.
But I didn't draw that. That's interesting.
And
but,
also,
yeah,
it shows the map. So right here is a lot of key points that you really got to pick up on, and so I think right here requires a lot of explanation and whatnot. But it also shows the map of the Lonely Mountain and its surrounding area. And one thing that's mentioned by Gandalf is that there's secret runes on this map. And he doesn't have the skill to find them or to make them get revealed on the map. He doesn't have the skill to read them, but he knows a few people that do have that ability. And so this is one of those types of things where it's like, we got to be quick about this. We got to do it fast, but we're also going to have to get help from others that might want to try and claim the mountain for themselves.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, well, once we reach those people, how much do we tell them? Do we tell them our true intentions? Like, what do we hold back?
Yeah.
Because again, in this mountain is literally like, take all the money that Elon Musk has today.
Oh, yeah.
And that's basically what they have in that mountain. That at this point, as far as anyone's aware, they can just walk in and claim because they think the dragon is dead.
Yeah. Oh, spoiler alert, dude.
There's 3 movies. Do you really think the dragon is dead? Come on.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean,
okay, fine. Spoiler alert: the dragon's not dead.
What? I thought Desolation of Smog was about something else. Anyway, so they're urging Bilbo to come along, but he needs to sign a scroll that is basically a disclaimer, being like,
giant-ass contract.
Yeah, it's like, you might die. Join the Marine Corps. Anyway.
Right. Facts.
I thought you might get that one. But anyway, so this is all while Thorin tells Eric that he cannot guarantee Bilbo's safety. So Eric, being Eric Lensher, aka Magneto. But anyway, he tells Gandalf that he cannot guarantee Bilbo's safety. Bilbo is reading through the thing and comes across the key term incineration. And then they tell him about how the dragon can incinerate him. Basically, you feel sharp pain, and then the flesh is gone from your bones. You are dead. Yeah. And then Bilbo seems to have pulled it together, but then he goes, nope, and he faints.
One thing that Gandalf points out here, too, and the reason they need a hobbit specifically is, number one, the dragon doesn't know this. So dragons have very keen sense of smell and hearing and sight, even. Like, think of, like, if you ever walk into a room and a cat is sitting there, and before you even walk in the room, it's looking at the door, right? Yeah. Think about that, but, like, magnify that by, like, 10 times its senses. And so a dragon has never seen, smelled, eaten, or heard a hobbit before, right? Heard them walk or anything like that. So that's number one, right? So it's something new. So if Bilbo were to go in there and the dragon is alive, it's not going to know what he is.
Yeah.
Number two, Gandalf says that hobbits are remarkably light on their feet, and they can go unseen by most if they choose to. So hobbits can be very stealthy and very rogue-like if they choose to.
Yeah, which is kind of ironic because they have such big feet.
Yeah. They have such big feet, and they don't do anything all day. They sit there and work in the fields and smoke and drink.
Anyway, though, so he comes back to, he's awake and he's talking. And he's like, I don't know, man. And Gandalf starts encouraging Bilbo, talking about all these things of who he is. Which, by the way, I think that my new favorite thing in the world is how Gandalf says "took." I love it. I take it, though, that is Bilbo's mother's last name.
Her maiden name, yeah.
Her maiden name, yeah. He is a Took.
Yeah. So
he is a Baggins.
His father was a Baggins. His mother was a Took. Or Took.
Took.
So yeah, that's
his lineage. Okay.
Yeah, and he does say, though, and it cracks me up here too, when Gandalf is talking about Bilbo's great whatever ancestor.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll have to reach the point to get the specific name of it.
Yeah, I know what you're. I'm pretty sure I know which one you're going for, and I love it too. So I'll just let you read it.
It talks about. So, at his great uncle, Aurora Took. Yeah, that many greats. Sorry, I had to rewind it to get the full thing.
It's okay, just wasting my time.
Aurora Took was so large that he could ride an actual horse.
Yeah.
And at the Battle of Greenfields, he charged the goblin ranks, swung his club so hard, he knocked the goblin's king's head off, and sailed 100 yards through the air into a rabbit hole, and hence the game of golf was invented.
Yeah, winning the battle and also simultaneously inventing the game of golf.
Yeah.
I thought.
And so with that thing, real quick, where I was mentioning, hey, hobbits don't do anything. They fought in like one battle when the goblins attacked their home. That's the battle that I was referring to.
Wait, repeat that again?
So earlier in the episode, I was talking how like hobbits don't really do a whole lot. They don't do adventures or fight or anything.
Yeah.
And then I was saying how like they really like the goblins attacked their home at one point, so they fought back.
Oh,
that
okay.
battle is the battle I was referring to. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so that's like the only time that hobbits have really like fought. But that scene just cracks me up. Like,
yeah, that's
and
funny.
ended the battle, and The game of golf was invented.
Yeah, I love that. But so anyway, this is Gandalf's attempt to encourage Bilbo, being like, remember who you are, which also is a reference to Lion King. No, it's not, but it is part of Lion King. Just that remember who you are thing. But
Gandalf does point out too, because Bilbo asks,
Yeah.
like, can you promise that I will come back alive? Like, can you promise that I'm not going to die on this adventure?
yeah,
That's
and
when Gandalf says, like, I can't make that promise. But if you survive, you're not going to be the same afterwards. Like, this is going to
Yeah.
change you dramatically if you go on this adventure.
yeah. And then Bilbo basically replies, he's like, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then he says, I'm sorry, but I can't. He says no. And then it cuts to Thorin, who starts singing something Catholic, or maybe it's one of Will Ferrell's bar songs and the other guys. It could have been the Halo theme. I'm really unsure, but they just sing. And they go through a song, and Bilbo wakes up the following morning
That
to
song,
an empty house.
on a
Yeah.
serious note, is basically like remembrance of the dragon attack.
Oh, okay.
If you
So
really,
it's like
if you really
there's
listen to the words, it's like, this is a sad song. This is something tragic that has happened.
yeah.
And that's kind of like a remembrance to that.
Okay. So it was one of Will Ferrell's bar songs and
Yeah.
the other guys.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. I can't think of what he called those, but all right. Anyway, though, okay. So I figured that was actually about something. I didn't pay attention enough to the lyrics.
It's about the dragon attacking. The woman.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, it's not very long. Obviously, it's like a minute and a half, but it's a really good song too. Like, you can find it on iTunes. And, like,
You have that, don't you?
yeah, I do. I have it on my phone. Absolutely, I do.
I knew it.
But yeah, the song it just talks about the Misty Mountain. You know, it's got dungeons really deep down into the mountain itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got old caverns that also like branch off from the kingdom as well. And then it talks about how they had to leave; they had to run away because of the dragon attack. You know, and it talks about mentions the trees being on fire and blowing in the wind, and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, it's a sad moment. It's supposed to be like kind of like one of those downer moments in the movie.
Yeah. But yeah, so he wakes up to an empty house though in the morning. You know, everybody's gone. Obviously, his pantry is dead. Just desolate.
I just remembered, and one thing we forgot to mention, or I guess I forgot maybe. At one point, after the whole feast is over, and before Thorin shows up, Bilbo is talking to Gandalf, complaining about everything.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not even going to tell you what they did to the bathroom. They completely destroyed the plumbing. And he's just like, dear Lord, how big of a shit did they take?
That's funny.
Like, his plumbing is destroyed. What in the world? Like, the fat one just poop out a whole block of cheese or something?
Honestly, though, it probably was the fat one.
Like, he ate a whole block of cheese and then just pooped it all out right there, like, as a block still? Like, what in the world?
Dude, probably the dude's intestines are the size of the Shire. Anyway, so yeah, he wakes up to an empty house. He's thinking a bit. He looks at the scroll because they left it, the contract. And next thing we see, he's taken off running, right? He's obviously changed his mind.
I just have to say, though, like, the fact that his house is so neat and clean and tidy after the dwarves are gone.
Yeah, like, never mind about it, the food loss. Like, I kind of got to give him props for cleaning up.
Yeah, like, his house looks normal except for his food being all gone.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's nice and clean and neat, and it's just like, well, They were rude just to barge in there, but at least they picked up after themselves.
I know, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But anyway, so he...
and,
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just remember because I just saw it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
The dwarf Balin, the old one with the white hair.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, we will see reference to him in the Fellowship of the Ring. And I don't know if you remember from your one time watching it. But there will be a reference to him.
Okay. But yeah, so he takes off running. He's trailing the scroll behind him like one of those like banners that trail behind like a plane, you know?
Yeah.
He's just going, and he's obviously changed his mind, and people are like watching him as
Jumping
he's running
over
through the Shire.
and over carpets and whatnot. Doing some parkour.
Yeah. And as he's running past, somebody asks what he's doing, and we get the meme moment, which is "I'm going on an adventure." You know, if you it's become a meme, like so you see that.
It really has.
But anyway, yeah. So he yells that.
It cracks me up though because that's one of those moments where like it's a meme moment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember watching. It was like an interview with an actor, right, or maybe it was a director. I think it was a director. And the person had asked like, well, how did this big moment in the movie, like, did you guys plan for that to just become some big thing like a meme or whatever? And just because this moment reminded me of it, and he was like, no, we don't really plan for that at all. You know, we plan for some big moments in our movies where like, okay, the audience is really gonna like this, but those scenes that become like the meme scenes or like the ones that like people go back and watch and or like reference and whatnot, are just kind of like. Honestly, seems to just kind of get thrown in there at the last minute.
Yeah.
And so I'm really curious if this was just like one of those moments where they're like, well, we'll throw this in here just kind of like as a huzzah type thing.
Yeah.
Because like I'm sure you've seen the memes where it's like the one does not simply walk into Mordor.
Oh, yeah.
And then all the memes for that. That's one of those, and I can confirm though, because that's one of those scenes where like that was not their intention whatsoever. That was just something they put in there. You know, that was not their intention for it to blow up and be used for memes galore.
Well, really I don't think that most of the time they're not. You know, it's like half the time it's not even like this scene that they're like, oh, this is significant. It just somebody takes it and they're like, haha, and use it for something, and then it gets circulated and it becomes a meme.
It just blows up, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious if that whole "I'm going on an adventure" scene was something that they had planned, or if it was just kind of like we'll just throw that in there, why not?
Yeah.
Type of scene.
Yeah, but anyway, as he's running, you know, he eventually does catch up with the rest of the group, and he says he signed it, you know, and they give him a pony to ride along with him.
They're all riding ponies, like those be smaller horses.
Yeah. But anyway, as he's riding along, I want to say, I don't know if it's before or after the handkerchief thing, but they start tossing around bags of coins.
Yeah.
And I love this scene because Bilbo, he's like, what's going on? And Gandalf, he's like, they placed wagers on whether or not you would show up. And he's like, well, what did you think? And then somebody tosses him a bag of coins. He catches it, and he's like, I never doubted you for a second, or something like that.
Yeah. It just cracks me
they're
up,
riding
how much
along.
they packed onto these ponies.
Mm-hmm.
Because just looking like the pony that Bilbo rides on has this giant package on the back of it. They've got just like a giant cooking pot on there, like bedrolls, like obviously they have food for their journey, like all the stuff they have packed onto these poor little ponies. And the ponies have to carry someone as well.
Yeah, especially like that fatty.
Poor dog. Those poor horses, like, dear Lord.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, they kind of continue along, and then it cuts to them snoring. Well, they're sleeping around a campfire. Fatty is snoring.
Sucking in butterflies.
Yeah, he's sucking in moths and spitting them out as he's snoring. And reasonably, Bilbo is unable to sleep.
Yeah, understandably.
Yeah, yeah. So he gets up and he wanders around a little bit. He goes over to his pony and gives it an apple and like is feeding it.
Yeah.
But as they sit, they hear orcs screeching in the distance. And what were their names that they explain what it is?
So Feely and Keely.
Feely and Keely. All right.
They're saying, it's an orc raid out there. They'll come in at the dead of night, slit your throat, and leave before you even know they're there.
Yeah, and Thorin loves this.
Yeah.
He gives them a scorning.
Mm-hmm.
He's not too happy. And they ask him about it, and you kind of get a flashback.
Yeah, and so
and Evan, if you want to give a rundown of that.
Yeah, so the flashback that is giving us here is back to the Battle of Moria. So basically, what Moria is, in the older days, it was called Khazad-dûm. And it was a dwarven kingdom. It was a very large, very powerful dwarven kingdom. And basically, and you get told this in the Lord of the Rings movie, but since it goes back to Moria, well, understanding. The dwarves that lived in Moria, or Khazad-dûm, whichever you want to call it, I'll just call it Moria because it's easy. Basically, they did the whole thing like we saw in the beginning of the film. Digging down deeper in the mountain, finding gold and silver, emeralds, ruby, sapphire, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But Moria specifically has a material in there that's not in any other dwarven kingdom called mithril. It's very strong, very sturdy, and basically they compare it to like a dragon's hide. Like it's not going to get pierced by it. You're not going to get pierced by an arrow if it gets shot at you and you're wearing this. But basically the dwarves, they dug too deep, they mined too deep, and they awoke a creature down in Moria. And that creature basically came up, killed the dwarves, forced some of them to flee. It was almost like another dragon attack in the mountain thing, except this came from down under the earth. So this kingdom was abandoned. And so after the dragon took the Lonely Mountain and all those dwarves fled, they tried to retake this kingdom of Moria. And as it says in the scene, the orcs had gotten there first, led by the Pale Orc.
Yeah, Azog the Defiler.
Yeah, Azog the Defiler.
Azog, whatever. Potato, tomato, potato,
Yeah.
Magneto. Gandalf,
And so Azog the Defiler is a Gundabad orc. And, yeah.
What?
Gundabad.
That sounds like something that is part of Jar Jar Binks' vocabulary. He's a Gundabad.
And basically, and I'm not going to get into the whole backstory of Gundabad, but basically it was a kingdom up in the northern part of the continent where orcs lived and bred, and that was like their home. And there was a big war that happened, and it got basically destroyed, right? Men and elves and dwarves all came together and fought them off and destroyed them. But he is an orc from there. And he, as we see in this scene, is leading a giant army.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, basically the goal of the dwarves here was to take back Moria to make a new home for themselves. And what ends up happening here is Thror, the king of the Lonely Mountain, the one that had the Arkenstone and whatnot, he gets killed by Azog.
Yeah.
And what is explained in, I think, the next movie is that Thrain, Thorin's father, then rallies his soldiers to fight back, and he goes after Azog. And this is the point where Thrain goes missing. And so at this point, no one knows if he's dead or if he got taken captured or what.
Yeah, because in this movie, it just says Thrain, Thorin's father, was driven mad by grief.
Yeah.
and disappeared. It didn't say anything about that. So
So
okay.
what is assumed here, right, is that after this battle, Thrain, like it says in the movie, he was stricken by grief and disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is what's said here, and at this point in the movie, in the trilogy, we don't know what happened. But it is at this point, after the Battle of Moria, that Thrain goes missing.
Okay.
And as Balin says, as he's telling of this battle, at this point the dwarves are leaderless. They've lost their king. They've lost his son. Right. The two dwarves they would look to for leadership are gone. They don't know where they're. They know the one is dead. They don't know where the other one's at. In the middle of the battle.
Yeah.
And this is where we get to see Thorin earn his title of Oakenshield.
Yeah. He takes lead, charges the pale orc, and I mean, kind of almost gets his butt kicked, but he picks up a piece of a oak log.
Yeah, an oak log.
And uses it.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep. Nope, I will let you take. That's fine.
Yeah, he's using it as a shield, and hence the name Oakenshield. And at one point, Thorin is knocked on his back, and he's about to get killed by Azog, and he finds a sword laying next to him, cuts the orc's hand off.
Yep.
And it is assumed at this point that Azog is dead. Like, after that, he died from his wound, he bled out, whatever. They assume he's dead.
Yes. Now, I want to point out, Evan, that right as we come out of this flashback, it kind of goes into where they're traveling a bit more. Right after this night is what I thought would be a good ending point. We get a good amount of background. I don't know. It seemed like it was.
Yeah, I would.
But actually to end it, this is where I think, because before that night ends, he says, the pale orc is dead. It is retreated into the pit from whence it came, or something like that, and succumbed to its wounds. However, then we see the orcs that were screeching earlier, and they are talking to each other, and one of them says, "Alert." Something. How did he phrase that?
I'm not sure, honestly. I'll have to get to that point.
You got the freaking movie.
I know, I'm not at that point yet. But before we get there.
Sure.
Right.
But that's where I'd like to end the episode. But go ahead. Just moving no further along in it, feel free to touch on whatever leading up to that point.
Yeah, and so after Thorin cuts the hand off of Azog, he rallies the dwarves, and they end up pushing the orcs back. But the dwarves don't actually take more. And so it's like, okay, this was kind of a victory. They won the battle, but they didn't get a new home. They didn't take it back.
No,
and it even says that so many dwarves were killed, during this battle, because normally, like, dwarves will sing and have, like, big feast over battles and revisiting past feats and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, the loss was just too much to really celebrate for this one.
Yep, there's so much loss of life on the side of the dwarves that they couldn't even celebrate it. Even though technically it is a victory, they won the battle. They can't even celebrate because they've lost so many friends, loved ones, family, however all that works out. They lost just so many. And this is where Balin even says, it was at that moment where I saw someone. I saw someone I could follow, someone that I could call king. Talking about Thorin.
Right.
And I think just because the way it shows of all the dwarves looking at Thorin after Balin tells this tale, I would even venture to say that a lot of the dwarves didn't know that about Thorin. A lot of the dwarves really didn't know the true extent of what happened at that battle. I'm sure they would have known of the battle itself, but they didn't know the whole thing about, really in any detail about Thor being killed. Hadn't really heard a whole lot about Thorin fighting Azog. It's just it's all new to them. They just look at him in a different light.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that. Kind of figured they were all on the same page, but the way you say that yeah.
Yeah.
But let's see.
And it does show. Just shortly after that, it shows the orcs on what are called wargs, giant wolves. And this is where
what are those called?
The giant wolf is a warg.
Warg. Okay.
Yes. And so in this universe, you have wolves and wargs. Wargs are basically like, think of like a dire wolf, right? That's basically what the wolf is.
I see.
But the one orc turns to another and says like, "Go inform the master. We found the dwarf scum."
Yeah, go inform the master.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's indicating that maybe our pale boy is maybe not dead.
Yeah, and the way I would say if someone's watching this for the first time to approach these as well as along with several other different types of movies and TV shows is basically if you don't see someone die or something die in the movie or show, don't assume it's dead.
Yeah, don't expect it to be dead because, it's kind of like, what was it? It wasn't in...
it's kind of like Mace Windu. He's not actually dead.
Okay, well, that one hasn't been confirmed yet, but I do believe it. But anyway, it's kind of like in Star Wars. It was like, there was, I've seen plenty of memes where it's just like, oh, so-and-so died, and then it shows somebody, and they're like, really? Show me his body.
Yeah.
Because, well, who knows? Freaking Darth Maul.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Thought
we see him get cut in half. Like, okay, he died, but you don't actually see him laying there dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Until, well, never mind. But
yeah, but
yeah,
it's the same thing with this. Like, yes, we see Azog's hand get cut off. We see it bleeding a lot as he's like covering it with. As soon as it happens, you see blood just pouring out of his arm. But you never actually see his cold, dead body on the ground. So don't assume he's dead.
Yeah. Wish we saw it at this point. Cause...
That's the way I would say to approach not just these movies, but everything else that you watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then did you want to go until... Where did you want to go to? To right here? Or did you want to go further?
Yep. Right here, because right after this, it goes into like the following day, them traveling again. And I thought this might be a good point, because it's right around that, and honestly, right now we're riding at about an hour and a half. So I figure that's probably a good point, especially because it is 11:30 at night, and I have to get up at 5 tomorrow. So,
Alright, sounds good to me.
But yeah, that takes care of our part 1 of The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Any closing comments to you, Evan?
I would just say...
Or from you, I should say.
If you guys are enjoying what we're doing, make sure to, leave us a like, give us a comment of any questions you have, anything like that, so we can answer them for you.
Yep. Go ahead.
We do have the email at yourindepth@gmail.com. Or we've got
right
comments just on the episode itself, whether it's Google or Apple.
Yeah. Once again, with those, downloads, son of a biscuit. So, also, here's the thing. Our goals are every 1,000 downloads, we do a blooper reel, and every 100 Apple podcast reviews and ratings, we do a live stream. Please help us get to that, Apple reviews and all that. That part hasn't changed. We've been reset a little bit regarding the download count because we switched hosts. So now we are with Anchor versus Podbean. when we left Podbean, we had roughly 3,400 downloads. And as you can tell by looking at our episode list, we have had 3 blooper reels, so we've held true to that, goal system. So I think we can probably just estimate it and just go 3,400 plus whatever's on Anchor.
Yeah, I would agree.
And just continue doing that. But either way, so that's more of on our end. Regardless, next benchmark at 4,000, we will do another blooper reel. That's my point with it. So just keep watching. That was long-winded, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Next time we'll be covering more of The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey.
Well, actually,
or no, we go next.
Are we gonna bunny hop this crap? Were you thinking of going back and forth?
I'd say we go back and forth.
Okay.
So the next episode coming out will be for Star Wars, and we'll be continuing with the Mandalorian. Correct?
Yes, we'll be covering Chapter 6 of the Mandalorian. But as far as Hobbit, the one after that,
the next Lord of the Rings one we do will be basically the middle chunk of.
Correct. Yes.
And hopefully
but other than that,
we can get those out in a reasonable time, and not have the gap we had in this last 2 episodes.
All right. Yeah. No, I agree to that. I agree with that.
That's the hope. Hopefully we can get back on a more regular schedule.
Yeah, I do hope to continue getting these back out on a schedule. Maybe we can try to stick to recording to Tuesday nights, try to do that. Kind of get back in the habit of that. But yeah, anyway, and then in the meantime, though, if you guys are looking to, check us out on other platforms, I am at Rude, Crude, and Socially Unacceptable on YouTube, as well as down the road, also on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple. That's just another podcast, which, Evan, you have been a part of now.
Yay!
Yeah, where we just share stories and goofy stuff, talk about different topics. It's not so much nerd culture like this, but it is, just whatever we want it to be. And Evan, you are found where?
I am currently found on YouTube at Future Instinct. And one thing I am going to be doing is actually branching out to Facebook as well and do live streams on Facebook.
All right.
And presumably it's still going to be Future Instinct on Facebook, but I'll have to give an update on that once I actually get it set up. But I will be doing that soon. Okay.
Yeah, so hang tight on that part, but for sure on YouTube at Future Instinct right now.
Yes, sir.
But anyway, thank you. Contact us. Have a good day, and goodbye.
Peace.